Good morning and welcome to Magical Vacation Memories. We're just out for a quick walk and talk. We're in Springbank, checking out some of the trees that have changed for fall. A few fall colors are out now, so join us. We're going to probably cover off some DVC topics like resale versus direct purchase. So tag along and drop a comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and definitely share this channel. Like the colors of this tree here behind us. Starting to change. It's October 1st when we recorded this. It is also 22 degrees Celsius out today, so it's not so chilly. It's actually a beautiful day for a walk. Some of the beautiful fall colors showing up.
I want to get a picture of the leaf, but there's some white stuff on it, so I couldn't. Maybe I can bring it.
Lots of transitions. So as we walk and talk, just a couple of little things to start off with regarding DVC. So with DVC, as many know, Disney Vacation Club, it is Disney's version of the timeshare. It's based on points, and different resorts, different accommodations will garner different point allotments for a night, and also depending on season. So depending on when you go, like December, January, those tend to be more of a low season for DVC. Goes up from there. But in regards to direct purchase and resale, so with resale, when you purchase, you will get your points at a much lower cost per point. You will pay closing costs and dues for that year. Now you can negotiate that. That's one of the things you can do. So you can negotiate the price per point that you're buying resale for. You can also request that the seller pays closing costs and dues. Some will, some won't, but you can definitely save yourself a whole bunch more money going resale. Drawbacks to resale. This is a big one. Unless you bought previously and are grandfathered in, going forward, you don't get the perks of the DVC lounge at Epcot. You also don't get the Villains Lounge at the top of Bay Lake Tower. You don't get access to that. So there's a few things that are definite drawbacks. You also, unless you buy Riviera points directly, you do not get access to Riviera for the resort. So those are some big things for a lot of people. Some discounts, they don't honor discounts for DVC members on resale contracts. Now some will. Some stores don't really ask. They just are like, okay.
Are you DVC member?
Yeah, and then they ask for your ID, and then they look at it, and that's good. Now, those can be a big drawback for a lot of people because they want all of those perks. For us personally, we have a few things that we don't really care about. The DVC lounge in Epcot is one of the ones we do like, though. So for direct purchase, you are going to be paying quite a bit higher premium per point going that route, but right from the get-go, you do get full access to all of the perks. So
in the long run, it is worth it.
Yes. So you do get access to all of the DVC resorts, and any new future ones coming up, because I have a feeling with resale they're going to limit the access to those as well for resale purchasers. So with direct purchase, you do get all of the resort access. You get all of the discounts. You also get access to all of the lounges. So the lounge at Epcot, the Villains Lounge up on top of Bay Lake Tower, those you have full access to for all of that. Plus all of the discounts that go along with being a DVC member. So those are some things to keep in mind when you're looking at purchasing DVC. If you have any questions about any of that, feel free to ask. I'll walk through some things in more detail if you wish. But those are just a couple of quick things that we figured we should spell out for people. Now, regardless if you buy resale or direct, you can still rent out your points. You do still get to pass them on to your kids, grandkids, whatever.
Because the contracts are so long.
So you don't have to worry about that. Like there's no hassle with any of that stuff. So with resale, you still get to pass those on to your kids. And regardless, direct or resale, you can actually rent your points out. So, I mean, there's a huge rental market for points out there. That is something that, say, for example, you want to do a Disney cruise and you look at using points for the cruise as opposed to using cash. Well, at one time, it wasn't too bad to convert points to use for the cruise. Now, not so much. So a lot of people will rent their points out to cover the cost of their cruise. So then that way, they're not paying anything out of pocket. So you rent your points out, cover the cost of your cruise, and in a lot of cases, cover the cost of your dues for the next year. That's another thing. Dues come due in January every year. So you can choose to pay them in full or pay them monthly. To pay them monthly, you do need a U.S. bank account to do it, to have them direct debited from your account. Otherwise, you can pay it in full. You can also, if you have monthly debits, when it comes time for your monthly payment, you can actually use Disney gift cards. You can log in and go to your dues option on the DVC member site when you log in, and you can actually put the Disney gift card in, and it will deduct your dues payment from that gift card. So that's another option as well. That is something that is nice. Now, for Canadians in Alberta and Ontario, if you purchase direct through Disney, they will also allow your monthly, or sorry, they used to. I would have to check for sure, but they were allowing your purchase payment to go on to a Visa or MasterCard that was a Canadian card and Canadian issued. So that is how we had an old contract that we did that with. So that is something to also look into when you're talking to them. But I suggest, talking to one of the guides, and maybe hop over to Saratoga, or you can even go and do a tour at Wilderness Lodge to see the bungalows. Boardwalk has a tour as well. But yeah, stop in, talk to one of the guides, and go and have a look around and tour the rooms.
They're very
there
helpful.
might be, yeah, they'll answer any other questions as well when you're right there. But those are some things that I would recommend. Again, if you have any questions, don't forget to drop a comment below, and be sure to like and subscribe, and don't hesitate to share this channel with others. Hopefully we could answer a few questions for you, and this was helpful. Have a great day, and welcome home. One of the other things I forgot to comment on was contracts. So each resort will have a different length that your contract is good through. So that is something to also take into consideration when purchasing. And a minimum point purchase direct from Disney as a first purchase is going to be 150 points. That's what you need to buy up front the first time. And if you bought resale, now I believe it's 100 points to buy direct to gain access to all of the perks as well, direct. So that is something else to think of and definitely consider. But so each resort is going to have a different length of time till your contract expires. Some are 2048, some are 2052, things like that. So it's all stuff that you should really look into and consider based on your family's needs, the age of your family and your kids, stuff like that. Because if you have young kids and you want to, keep going back with them year after year, and hopefully they can use it when you become grandparents and you have grandkids, so your kids and their kids can use it. It's definitely something to take into consideration as to when the contracts will expire. So if you have any questions about that, I can again explain that in more detail. Just drop a comment below. Thanks.